And what do they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Not zip.
Zip. And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Joining us now, actor and Academy Award-winning director Mel Gibson, an old friend, a Malibu resident who tragically just lost his home to the Palisades fire.
He has failed on just about every level when it comes to preparing the state for this sort of fire.
Hollywood's biggest names are taking aim at California's leadership, and the fallout is explosive. Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson have unleashed a fiery critique on Governor Gavin Newsom, blaming him for the devastating wildfire crisis, and claiming his decisions are driving California into ruin. But what exactly did they say? And could this be the beginning of a Hollywood-led call for change? Let's dive in. Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson are making headlines, not with blockbuster films or podcast antics, but with sharp criticism of California's leadership. During a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan didn't hold back, calling out Governor Gavin Newsom for what he described as catastrophic failures in managing the state's wildfire crisis. According to Rogan, it's shocking that California, one of the wealthiest places in the world, continues to suffer devastating wildfires year after year.
California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And you're out of your mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined it.
While its leadership fails to take basic preventative steps, he pointed to straightforward solutions, like controlled burns and proactive forest management, that haven't been implemented. Instead, resources are being mismanaged, and the state's priorities seem to be elsewhere. Rogan's frustration wasn't just about the environmental damage, but about the broader impact on Californians. Families being displaced, businesses being destroyed, and billions of dollars being wasted. And the most striking part? He's not alone in feeling this way.
They spent $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what do they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Not zip.
Zip. And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel.
Mel Gibson, known for his strong opinions, didn't hold back either. He went even further, accusing Newsom of overseeing not just wildfire failures, but a much larger decline in California as a whole. Gibson described the state as a place with immense potential, an economic and cultural hub, but one that's crumbling under poor governance. He argued that the wildfire crisis is just one glaring symptom of deeper problems, like economic instability and a lack of accountability.
Were you able to get possessions that, of course, are really immaterial when you have your family, but I've been to your house. It was an incredible home, beautiful home. But were you able to get anything out of your house?
Not much. A few necessary things. My son I said, just go and grab this and this and this. And he grabbed like 3 things and took off. And then, those are okay. Stuff like passports and a couple of papers and stuff like that. But by and large, everything was it looked, when I got there the other day, I went up there yesterday, it looked like Dresden, after Bomber Harris got through with it. Yeah.
Mel,
so nothing left.
And here's where things get even more intense. Gibson painted a picture of a state trapped in a vicious cycle of disaster and recovery, with no long-term strategies to break free. It's not just about the environment. It's about leadership decisions that, according to him, have left California vulnerable to crisis after crisis. These aren't just personal frustrations. They're shared by countless Californians who feel abandoned by their government.
We have seen that before, so nothing new to us for the last 32 years that I've been here. We have everything in the car, the silverware, the money, the passport, and everything ready to go.
Can I just leave my car right there?
Where's your car?
The cop said you have to leave, and I leave my car right there because...
So, what happened?
There's a lot of fire right there.
Evacuating is really very difficult, and 3 miles up the hill, they didn't know if they get stuck in traffic or not. So Here we are separated, but we're in communication by phone.
This issue isn't abstract for Hollywood's elite, it's personal. Wildfires have hit the entertainment industry hard, disrupting productions, damaging estates, and forcing evacuations. Some of the most iconic film studios and celebrity homes are located in fire-prone areas, making this a crisis that directly affects the industry.
Already more than 200,000 LA County residents have had to evacuate their homes, but the flames in the affluent Pacific Palisades neighborhood in Los Angeles, the strongest. The fire there has already burned nearly 20,000 acres since Tuesday, consuming the Palisades Charter High School, which you'll know as the one where the 2003 hit movie Freaky Friday was filmed. The school superintendent saying about 30% of the high school campus has been damaged. Other structures include Real in Malibu, a nearly 40-year-old business, and the Bunny Museum. Now, celebrity homes also destroyed in these flames. You're taking a look right now at Paris Hilton's home, destroyed. James Woods actually had to flee his home, opening up saying he and his family had to evacuate with the clothes on their back. Tina Knowles, Billy Crystal among those affected. More than 10,000 buildings destroyed in the Pacific Palisades fire.
For figures like Mel Gibson, the stakes couldn't be higher. It's not just about the safety of their property. It's about the future of an industry that relies on California's infrastructure and resources. Mel Gibson's experience is a stark example of the devastation these wildfires bring. The actor and director recently shared his heartbreak after losing his $14.5 million Malibu mansion in the Palisades fire. Returning from Texas, he found his home of nearly 15 years reduced to ashes, with most of his cherished possessions destroyed.
Every time I see this, it's like, whoa. It looks like, looks a lot smaller than it seemed used to be. You know, it's a fairly vast house. But yeah, it had slate tiles, but there were some wood parts on the house, as you can see. But it's pretty well burnt.
Yeah.
If there is anything there, it's not much use, I would say. Who knows? I opened a safe. Everything in there was just...
Is it really?
Yeah.
Despite the loss, he maintained a resilient outlook, saying, "Don't look back, you look forward." While his Oscars were safe, he also found hope in the survival of his chickens, a small miracle amidst the destruction.
And there may be stuff in there that's, you know, salvageable. I doubt it. It's pretty dark.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Be standing here at your house like this.
Yeah, that's okay. You know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay. You don't look back, you look forward.
Gibson's story highlights the emotional and financial toll these disasters take, even on Hollywood's elite, underscoring the urgent need for action. And that's where Rogan and Gibson's comments carry even more weight. By highlighting how the wildfire crisis impacts even the wealthiest and most influential circles, they're amplifying a message that resonates far beyond Hollywood. This isn't just a problem for celebrities, it's a problem for all Californians. The difference is, when Hollywood speaks, people listen. What's clear is that Rogan and Gibson's critique isn't falling on deaf ears. Their comments reflect a growing wave of frustration among Californians, who are increasingly disillusioned with their leadership.
I do believe that the majority of people believe that this is on the government. According to Fox News, Gavin Newsom cut funding for wildlife and forest resilience by more than $1 million just months before these wildfires. Mayor Karen Bass initially tried to cut from the LA Fire Department's budget $23 million in 2024, but settled for $17.6 million in cuts. And she ordered an additional $49 million in cuts to the fire department's budget a week before the fires started.
The wildfire crisis is just the latest flashpoint in a state struggling with rising insurance costs, economic uncertainty, and a lack of meaningful solutions. For many, this feels like a breaking point. The big question now is whether this backlash could lead to real change. With public figures like Rogan and Gibson stepping into the conversation, the pressure on Newsom to address these issues is mounting. Their critiques aren't just criticisms, They're a reflection of a wider call for accountability and action. But will California's leadership rise to the occasion, or is this just another chapter in the state's ongoing struggles? Only time will tell.
On your show leading into the segment, I mean, I think you're hitting a lot of it on the head. This is just incredible mismanagement, incredibly poor leadership. I would go so far as to say that it's criminally negligent, because, I mean, Gavin Newsom has been either the governor for 5 years or lieutenant governor prior to that for 8-9 years. Some of the worst fires we've ever had in California under that watch. He clearly knows that the biggest problem that we suffer in California are these fires.
Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson's fiery words have ignited a massive debate about California's future, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Wildfires are raging, leadership is being questioned, and public trust is hanging by a thread. But what do you think? Are Rogan and Gibson right, or is the problem bigger than one leader? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The drama doesn't end here. Stay tuned for more.